There has been a lot of talk recently around the Hypixel network about the idea of hate speech, be it mentions of suicide and cancer. In this video, I hope to not only cover the Hypixel network, but the importance of free speech and free expression in general. My thesis? Hate speech is free speech and shall be defended to the death. On April 29, 2016, a thread entitled "To All Players and Formers of the Hypixel" was created. It goes as follows.
As you may know, recently on the forums there were two remembrance threads of Hypixel players' death. Mosquito Gaming has died because of lung cancer. Olivia has died because of terminal cancer. In the past 4 months, 4 Hypixel players died because of cancer. Those are terrible and horrible deaths, as cancer is taking too much innocent and pure lives of people who didn't do anything wrong. I give to the families of those who passed away the biggest condolences. Back to my point, those threads made us really sad, but we cannot forget about one most important thing. I hope it's not only my wish, but everyone else's wish. Please, do not joke about cancer or call someone else cancer, because it's just terrible and brutal. Cancer is the worst thing, and people who are just losing because someone killed them are calling someone cancer, that they should die because of cancer, and etc. This is horrible, and we cannot allow people to do that. First of all, it just shows that we have no respect against people who have cancer. Second, it's terrible and immature, not to mention in our age, some people wish someone death because of cancer. Joking about cancer is terrible too, so please, even if the joke will be funny, do not post it or tell it. Jokes about them are not, and I say not, funny. It will just make other people sad. If you see someone death threatening / joking / calling someone cancer, please immediately report them. Thank you for reading and have a nice day.
Every single piece of evidence used in this argument to try to tell players what they can and can't find funny is anecdotal. The entire thread is based upon a logical fallacy.
In argumentation, a logical fallacy is an error in reasoning that renders an argument invalid.
Your logical fallacy is an appeal to emotion.
You attempted to manipulate an emotional response in place of a valid or compelling argument. Appeals to emotion include appeals to fear, envy, hatred, pity, pride, and more. It's important to note that sometimes a logically coherent argument may inspire emotion or have an emotional aspect, but the problem and fallacy occurs when emotion is used instead of a logical argument or to obscure the fact that no compelling rational reason exists for one's position. Everyone, bar sociopaths, is affected by emotion, and so appeals to emotion are very common and effective argument tactics, but they're ultimately flawed, dishonest, and tend to make one's opponents justifiably emotional.
So with the appeal to emotion, it appears that 163 Hypixel formers have been swayed by fear, sadness, and recklessness of argumentation. So let's take out the appeal to emotion and give this thread another chance. Well, there's practically nothing left. Just look at the thesis. Do not joke about cancer or call someone cancer because it's just terrible and brutal. The thread does not seem to cover the fact that not all jokes of this brand are hastily made only for the effect of insulting someone else. There are such jokes that are well thought out and made for comedic effect. In fact, I've responded to the thread in such a fashion. Clearly, dark humor has no place on Hypixel. Think of the children and all. But perhaps it's because you're a bit immature that you don't realize the purpose of dark humor. The joke is never, suicide is funny, or cancer is funny. Ridiculous. The joke is that these things are bad. So instead of people with a dark sense of humor having a negative reaction to negative things, they laugh. It's a better coping mechanism. I was mentioned, or rather shamed in this thread for doing so. These are the reasons I incorporate dark humor into my content. It may not seem like it on the surface, but that's why some people find dark humor funny. Of course, I'm not excluding people who are just bad per se. There might be people who genuinely find these things humorous. It's already against the rules though, so who are we to tell them what they can and can't find funny? At the end of the day, who's to say what hate speech is? To say that there should be an arbiter of free speech and free expression simply spits in the face of the latter. What if this arbiter of free speech deems that the realm of rational thought and discussion is offensive and should be censored? For example, 10 years ago, it was a controversial opinion to say that gay people should be allowed to marry, and look where we are now. Free speech doesn't exist for people to say, the weather is nice, that's a beautiful rainbow, or I like puppies. It's the controversial opinions that change minds and help humanity as a whole become more intelligent. And without it, if you had a dissenting opinion, you would have no platform to voice your objections. Hate speech is free speech. Now, am I saying that something like kill yourself or get cancer is the same thing as a revolutionary, brand new, great idea. No, of course not. Those aren't the same thing. But here's the problem though. There's no one person that should be sitting atop a throne of free speech deciding what is acceptable to say and what is not acceptable to say. Because who knows? Something may be controversial now that won't be controversial in 20 years could be censored now and never be brought to the light of day. That's why all free speech should be protected, even when you think it's hate speech. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like on the video, leave a comment, tell me what you think, and yeah, I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.